getting into the business, you knew this is what you wanted to do. What can you tell me about the training process? Because it's not easy.
Okay, so when I was 16, my art teacher was a professional wrestler. So if you kind of go back and you watch some old TNA, there was a guy in TNA. His name was Laz, and he used to wear like the face paint. And
Hmm.
I think when he was working in TNA, he was wearing like jeans and kind of had like a. He was one of the first guys kind of doing like the real um, edgy sexual gimmicks, like gold dust and all of that. And he was actually my art teacher
Oh
when I
wow,
was.
it's amazing.
And yeah, so he would get like when he was coming up, you had like him, Shannon Moore, Shane Helms, C.W. Anderson, Lodi. They kind of all came up together, and he would get me into. They used to run shows at a place out here called King's Bar, and he would get me into those SCW shows with my dad because I wasn't old enough to even get in the shows. I mean, you had to be like 21 because they were
Yeah.
like bar shows. And when they were doing these shows, we would go and we would watch the shows, man. And I mean, the shows were just absolutely unbelievable. Look, we got a visitor. Say
Oh, hi
hello.
there. Hey there. Hello. What's his
he,
name?
David. Say hello, David.
Hello.
Hi,
Where's your?
David.
Say what's up.
Hello.
What's going on?
He's. I'll come holler at you in a minute, buddy.
Hi.
The We had a impromptu guest here
Yeah. Special
popping in.
guest. Yeah.
Yeah. But my father would take me to the shows, and when we would go watch these shows, and I met so many guys there. I mean, I met the Hardy Boys there. That's where I met Shannon Moore. That's where I met Shane Helms, C.W. Anderson. And just through going to those shows, he got me into wrestling school when I was 16 or 17. And I first started training then. And he actually lied to the people at the wrestling school and told them I was 18. And then once they found out I wasn't 18, they told me I couldn't come back. So from the time I was 17 until was I started training wrestling again when I was 33. So I'm 36 now. And I just figured, man, like I saw an advertisement when I went into the gym one day. And at the time, I was doing competitive bodybuilding shows, and I just saw this advertisement. And I was like, you know what, man? Like, if I'm ever gonna try to do it, then now is the time because, like, I'm 33. I'm
Yeah.
only getting to the point, so I got to go ahead and try to do it. And I went, I signed up, and then before I knew it, it just kind of took off. And the training process in itself is very, um, I think just training and wrestling in general it's one of those things where like you either get it really fast or you don't get it at all.
Sink or
Um
swim. Yeah.
yeah, and it's you like I kind of see that now like with kids that will come to the school and things like that. And now we're kind of the ones like me and Angelina, like we go to the school and we kind of help out sometimes and things like that. And you can just kind of see when you're looking at somebody, if they've been training for 2 months or 3 months or 6 months, you kind of figure out real fast, like, okay, like this person's, they get it. Or somebody might have been training for 6 or 8 months and you just go like, man, they may never get it, like maybe refereeing is for them or managing is for them or whatever, So the training process in itself is just one of those things where it's it's an it's an ever evolving process. Like
Right.
you don't learn how to do wrestling in 10 weeks or 12 weeks. And a lot of schools are kind of built like that. They might give you a 12-week class and then just kind of churn you out. And I was talking to Johnny Swinger about this. Maybe 6 months ago, we were talking about this. And one of the things we were talking about is he was like, you go to wrestling school and you learn how to bump and how to roll and how to protect yourself when you're in the ring. He was like, but you learn how to work when you start getting booked and you do a lot of matches. He was like, that's when you learn how to work the crowd and how to have better timing and like the pacing of your matches and things like that.
Sure. Yeah, it's very intense, and it takes a lot of discipline. And the cool thing about the business is you don't have to be a wrestler necessarily. Like, you could be a manager. There's so many different roles, a referee. And it's really cool that they can teach that at schools. You can show that, hey, if you're not able to do this, you can do this, and there's a place for you. Like, there still is a home for you in this field.